Hey everyone, this is Bale, and today I'm going to talk us through a visual guide of the level 44 to 46 Garuda storyline Primal fight. So one of the first things you'll notice is that I've included a second perspective in the video from the view of a healer, so hopefully this will give you a helping hand depending on the role it is you're going to play in the party. In this setup we've got a paladin, scholar, black mage and a bard. I've got to admit it really helps having ranged damage dealers in this fight, for reasons I'll expand upon later. For any interested paladins out there, as for sub abilities, in this fight I've gone for Foresight, Bloodbath, Stone Skin and Fracture. I've decided to put in Fracture this time instead of Mercy Stroke, as it's a one-off dungeon with only a single boss that I've got to focus on, so the DOT from Fracture ends up being more beneficial to the group, rather than Mercy Stroke, which I'd only get to use once in the whole fight. After eating food and getting buffs, I throw on Stone Skin and Shield Oath before engaging Garuda. You'll notice I keep her facing away from the party and turn towards this rock pile here. The idea during this first phase is to keep her locked in this direction. If you have other melee DDs, they should be behind Garuda at all times to avoid a front conal AoE move. She does have another move that is 360 degrees AoE, so again melee DDs have to keep sharp. This is just one of the benefits to having ranged DDs here. Coming up in a second you'll see she starts casting a move called Slipstream. Unlike a lot of other bosses, there's no red markers to show you how this move hits, but if you look up at the top of the screen you can see she is casting it. This is a front conal AoE that all tanks should look out for. You can easily avoid this by simply stepping off to her side, so all you have to do is spot that she's actually casting it. For me this is the perfect time to reapply Stone Skin as she's busy casting her move. At around this percentage, Garuda will disappear and do the first of her many shriek moves. She'll reappear right in front of the rock pile I've been tanking her at. As soon as she disappears, it's imperative that the whole group gets out of her line of sight. This is where the stone pillars behind us become incredibly handy, and these are used as a defensive tool throughout the fight. These are the only 4 positions in the arena where you're safe from this move. Once you're all hidden from Garuda behind the pillars, you'll notice her move actually hits and weakens them. This is why it's important to keep up good pace of damage on her, so that she only gets a chance to use this move a couple of times before the next phase of the fight starts. As you can see, directly after her shriek she spawns a pack of razor plumes. These will instantly go towards the pillars you've all been using to hide behind. DDs must take these plumes out as quickly as possible. Here's the second big reason why ranged DDs are great in this fight. If you attack them from range, then they won't be doing any damage to the pillars. Just keep attacking her and focusing on getting her down to 50% as soon as possible. Very shortly she'll disappear again and perform a second shriek. This time though, you'll notice that she spawns on the opposite side of the map. Use the pillars to your advantage again, but obviously because it's a line of sight move, you'll be wanting to hide behind them on the opposite side from where you were during the first shriek. As the tank, just make sure she follows you back to your original tanking spot, kill the plumes again in the same manner. When you do eventually get her under 50%, she'll disappear once again, but this time she'll reappear in the very centre of the room. Straight away she'll spawn another set of plumes. DDs need to take these out as soon as possible, as I believe this acts similar in mechanic to the other Primal fights. If any of those plumes are left up before she disappears again, it's a one-hit KO. Although as the tank, don't do what I did here and try to engage them, they'll just run off, and all you'll achieve is Garuda knocking down any nearby stone pillars. You're better off just keeping her to one side and trusting your DDs to take them out. She'll spawn in the centre of the room, and you'll have to use any remaining pillars to keep her out of the line of sight. This is the last time you get to use the pillars as cover, as she will completely destroy them with this attack. This is the start of the next big phase. Now that the pillars are gone, you'll soon notice that the battle arena shrinks, and the edge of the circle is surrounded by a fierce purple mist. Don't stand in this, it will do considerable damage to you. Just drag her to the edge of the circle, have all DDs and the healer stand behind her. DDs just keep taking out plumes as they spawn. If she disappears again, she can respawn in either the centre of the room or at either end of the purple mist. If she spawns in the centre, just quickly run behind her and you'll avoid getting hit by her move. If party members are unsure of which way she's facing, just follow the tank's movements. If on the other hand she spawns at either side of the arena inside of the purple mist, then you must check to see which end she spawned at and run as far away from her as is humanly possible, while still being outside of the purple mist yourself. As you can see, in our fight 3 of us moved to the correct position, but one player didn't get the memo, so they ended up dead for the rest of the fight. So now we're a DD down, but no panic. We had a very experienced black mage with us, so it really wasn't too big of a deal, and we're not taking that much damage really. When you approach the 20 to 25% mark, it's a great idea for one of the DDs to use a limit break so that you're not overwhelmed by plumes. This will take a huge chunk of damage from Garuda and save you a lot of trouble in her most difficult phase. With all that said, there's no more surprises at this point, so just keep a cool head and take her down to get the job done. So just to recap on a few key points in this fight. Engage Garuda so that she's facing the rock pile on the far side of the arena. Ranged DDs are ideal, but if you do have melees, make sure they're engaged behind Garuda. Avoid slipstream by moving out of Garuda's front conal AoE vision. Use the pillar to keep out of line of sight of Garuda's shriek move. Kill the plumes as soon as they pop, and make sure they do as little damage to the pillars as possible. Keep Garuda away from the pillars as much as possible. After 50%, take out the plumes ASAP and hide behind any remaining pillars so you don't get one-shotted after her next shriek. Avoid the purple mist once the arena shrinks, and stay behind her if you're not the tank, taking out any plumes as they spawn. Watch Garuda's respawn very carefully. If she's in the centre, move behind her. If she's either end of the arena, move as far to the other end as you can without getting hurt by the mist. Once she hits around 25% in health, just go flat out and use your DD limit break on her. This will help accelerate this stage. Keep a cool head and get ready for one hell of a cutscene afterwards. Until next time guys, peace.